Rivian stock had the biggest IPO in recent times. The company priced its shares at $78 per share. By the end of the week, they closed at close to $130 per share, and they're looking to almost double up in the coming week. The EV manufacturer is backed by Amazon, which has a little more than 20% stake. That makes Rivian the second valuable US automaker behind Tesla. Tesla has a 1 trillion market cap, whereas Rivian has close to $110 billion. Rivian has overtaken traditional automakers like GM and Ford and also Lucid. Rivian has just started manufacturing its vehicles and has little revenue to show for. On a side note, Lucid also started the delivery of its vehicles recently. This shows the frothy market conditions in the EV sector. In this video, we will go through the company background and investors behind the transaction in the Rivian IPO. We will also take a look at the technology and the manufacturing facility details for Rivian. We will also see what Elon Musk has to say about the transaction. Finally, we'll go through the risk factors. So please stay until the end of the video so you get all the details about the Rivian IPO. My name is Arshad Ahmed. I'm founder of DIYstockpicker.com, an investment portal dedicated to help investors make intelligent decisions. This video is only for informational purposes, and please do your due diligence before making any investment decisions. So let's get started. Rivian is founded by Mr. R.J. Scaringe. He founded the company in 2009 with a purpose to build rugged and luxurious vehicles that run on batteries. He debuted his two vehicles, one a pickup truck and the other an SUV, at the LA Auto Show in 2018. The first electric truck rolled off the line in September 2021. In early 2021, there was a private valuation and funding round at which Rivian was valued at $21 billion. In just about a year, the valuation has quadrupled. Mr. Scaringe grew up in Florida and has a degree in mechanical engineering from MIT. Rivian, which some investors will hope that it becomes the next Tesla, is the first company to build a fully electric pickup truck, the R1T, and an electric SUV, the R1S. These vehicles have a range of 300 miles on a single charge and cost between $73,000 and $75,000 after the $7,500 federal credit for electric vehicles. Rivian is also looking to expand into the commercial sector. Amazon, its biggest backer, has already put an order for 100,000 delivery vans. Rivian has raised close to $12 billion in its IPO. This is the biggest IPO since the Alibaba. Ford also has a 12% stake in Rivian. The other investors include T. Rowe Price, Templeton Funds, and Blackstone. These funds are planning to buy close to $5 billion shares at the IPO price of $78 per share. If we look at the ownership structure of Rivian, it is the same as technology companies. There are two classes of share, Class A and Class B. Class A shares have one voting right, whereas Class B has 10 times the voting right as Class A shares. Mr. Scaringe owns just 1% of the Class A stock, but he owns 100% of the Class B shares. He is also chairman of the board. In short, he has complete voting control over any decisions the board makes. Also, he is highly incentivized in that there are 27 million options that will be vested and converted to common shares for Mr. Scaringe if the company performs well. In short, Rivian is a bet on Mr. Scaringe's dream. The S1 also acknowledges this fact that it's a bet on Scaringe. Rivian has a total of 8,000 employees. Out of these, 3,000 employees are working solely at the production facility in Normal, Illinois. They have bought a Mitsubishi plant and renovated it too. The company plans to have a target of 150,000 vehicles produced annually at its Normal, Illinois plant. There is a backlog of 55,000 R1 vehicles, and the company expects to fulfill this order by the end of 2023. They have just started manufacturing vehicles at the plant, and the production had been delayed due to the supply chain issues and the semiconductor shortage. Both type of vehicles, the R1 line of vehicles and the RCV, which are the electric delivery vans, can be produced in the plant. Annually, the R1 vehicles are expected at 65,000 capacity, and the RCV vehicles, the delivery vans, are expected at 85,000 vehicles. So this brings the figure to total 150,000 vehicles annually. Now, this is a very ambitious goal, but the company plans to hire additional staff and run additional shifts to meet the production demand. The Rivian vehicles look very cool. At the core of these vehicles is the skateboard chassis platform. This is like the platform for Lucid, Canoe, and other EV manufacturers. Once the skateboard chassis is built, any vehicle can be fitted on top of that. They have used exceptional engineering and made sure that the battery and other components sit below the height of the wheels. This gives a low center of gravity for the vehicles. Ford also plans to use this skateboard chassis in its electric vehicle trucks. Now, Rivian wants to position itself as a technology company, generate recurring revenue from its platform and services. They have built the Rivian Cloud, which is an interconnected system of vehicles and devices and sensors. They also plan to offer fleet delivery solutions. Rivian wants to build an ecosystem of delivery of vehicles, selling of services, connecting of the vehicles through the Rivian Cloud, as well as rolling out a few DC fast charging stations. They also have 6 service centers across major metropolitan areas. Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted that the true test for Rivian would be achieving production capacity and positive cash flow. Rivian raised $12 billion in its IPO and is valued at more than $100 billion. When Tesla had its IPO in 2010, it was valued at just $1.2 billion and was able to raise only $200 million of cash. Elon Musk really knows what it involves in manufacturing electric vehicles and achieving positive cash flow. The famed investor Michael Burry, who famously shorted the subprime mortgage market in 2008, has tweeted that Tesla in fact has not achieved positive cash flow by its vehicles, but in fact by selling the electric vehicle credits and collecting money from other car manufacturers. General Motors CEO Ms. Barra has commented that she in fact feels that GM is now undervalued, without referring directly to Rivian. When she was asked what she thinks of the lofty valuations for EV car manufacturers, she said that she will take this up as a challenge and make sure that GM reaches the largest EV selling company in US by 2025. In fact, GM has invested close to $35 billion in other EV companies and technology companies to further its EV dream. They even tried to invest in Rivian, but Ford bet them to that. Now here are the risks involved in investing in Rivian. Investing in Rivian is basically a bet on Mr. Scaringe. He by no means possesses the charisma of Elon Musk, but the company has backing of the giants and a very good brand name. There is also fierce competition among the EV sector, not only from Tesla and Lucid, but also from Chinese auto manufacturers NIO, XPeng, as well as auto giants like GM and Ford. Established automakers as well as Rivian had to halt their production supply many times because of the shortage of raw materials like semiconductors and issues in the supply chain. Really, delivering 150,000 vehicles annually will be a big test for the execution for Rivian. If the company is able to execute this dream well, that will reflect in the stock price. The silver lining is that IPOs have been very hot recently. The Renaissance IPO ETF has returned more than 100% in the past year. IPOs have done really well and Rivian has a good brand name. So in the short term, Rivian will definitely touch the skies. In the long term, it may be a different story. But the investor should be aware of all these things before you make your investment in Rivian. I hope you found the video informational. I have analyzed all the EV stocks that went public recently, either through SPAC or through the conventional IPO. And I'll put the playlist here on the end screen and hope to see you in those videos. Thanks for watching.